Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Yes, no? Are we good to start? Okay, Darshana, thank you for confirming. Okay, we have been discussing about the concept of association, aggregation, and the composition. Okay, so the one line answer for composition. We want to elaborate the definition for composition in a line. You can simply say it like if you have a strong association between two entities. It is very simple. Okay, you have two objects. If one object, if you destroy one object, the other object will also gets destroyed automatically. Okay, that's why they have a strong bonding. We call it as what? The strong association. So here it talks about the lifetime of the object. Okay, the lifetime of the contained object is totally depending upon the lifetime of the container object. The best example is the library and the books example. The relationship between the library and books. Okay, it has a strong bonding. Okay, if you destroy library, automatically the books that are stacked inside the library will be destroyed. Okay, very simple definition for the composition. You can also frame or draft your own definition. Okay, there is no universal definition for this topics. So aggregation, so just opposite to the composition. Okay, when you find association, weak association between two entities, they call as aggregation. If you want to elaborate it little further, you can say that the contained object always has some independent existence, even though if you destroy the container object. What does it really mean? Look at the relationship between the students, library, and the students. Okay, so this is the best example, library, students. Okay, even though if the library object is destroyed, it is not going to affect directly the students. They can always have the independent existence. Without library, they can survive, right? Okay, their existence is not dependent directly upon the library, right? So this example is directly applies for the aggregation definition. Okay, so it says lifetime of the contained object does not depend upon the lifetime of the container. Just remember these lines and practice some programs, concepts will become very clear. Okay, so today the topic is on dependency injection. Okay, very important topic, dependency injection. Okay, you might be saying that these are not the fancy words. However, it looks like the fancy words, but when you look at the definition, when you look at my explanation, it is going to be very easy. Okay, the name itself says what does the name says? Dependency injection. We are going to inject a dependency. We are going to do what? We are going to inject a dependency. Okay, what does it really mean in the Java program, dependency injection? Okay, again, to describe about the dependency injection, we need two objects. Okay, for example, in the real-time example, let us take the example as computer. Okay, so computer manufacturers, there are many computer manufacturers. There are many industries, right, for the computer. But when you see the computer, when you look into the computer, the whole computer is a set of is a combined assembling of many parts. For example, computer is not a direct entity. Inside the computer, you have several components, right? You have RAM. Okay, if you want to purchase a computer, and the name of the company is Lenovo. Okay, the name itself is Lenovo, but inside it there are several parts inside a particular computer. Okay, it has a RAM and it has SD. Okay, hard disk, which I'm saying, and it also has the processor. Okay, so this RAM can be assembled. They may use a different. They may use a RAM from a different company. Okay? It could not be from the same company, Lenovo. It could be from different company. SD card could be from different company. Yes or no? Different company. Processor is from different company. Okay, all these components are assembled together in the Lenovo company, so that at the end the computer becomes the part of Lenovo company. By looking at the computer, it is Lenovo, but inside it has several parts. Each and every part is associated with a different company, right? So these components are called as what? The dependency components. These components are called as dependency components, because these components is directly dependent for the Lenovo computer. Okay, this is the dependent component. Okay, the Lenovo computer is already dependent upon the RAM, which is from different company, the SD card, which is from different company, the processor, that is also from different company. So this component, we call it as, technically we call it as the dependency components, and this is called as the dependent components. In the real time, if you take two physical entities, okay, like computer, internally the computer is assembled as a computer, but it is going to use several parts from different companies, right? They are the dependent parts. It is not like, for example, if you look at the MacBook, okay, the MacBook might be using different transistors are from different company. Its internal components are not relevant to the MacBook itself, Mac company itself. They are from different companies. Thus they are called as dependent component of the MacBook. Okay, this is the real-time analogy I'm saying. Dependent, just get acquainted with these words, dependent and the dependency. We will see this in the program. This is a real-time analogy. Let us convert this real-time analogy to the Java program for the better understanding. Right? So let me open the paint screen. Okay, the same example. Now I want to keep the example very simple. I'm going to take a class. Student class I'm taking. Class. Name of the class is what? Student. Okay. And so I'm going to set some properties for the students. First property is every student is going to have a name. So I would like to collect this information. I would like to collect the name information. And again, every student is going to have a roll number, right? So integer SNO, student number. So we have a name property, we have a student property, and let me take another entity here. Okay, so this is another entity. So this is the address entity. Okay, address entity, and inside this address entity, to keep the program very simple, let us take two properties. One is string state. Okay, second one, another component, string city. These are the two properties inside the address class. Okay, and I want to make a relationship between these two classes. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make as a relationship. Okay, every student is going to have an address, yes or no? Okay, I'm going to use this reference to store the address values. Address add or ess. Okay, now look at this, guys. This is a special reference. Why special reference? We know what is a string, okay, and we also know what is an integer data type. Okay, this is a special data type because this is a class data type, address data type. Okay, these data types internally they are going to store what? They're going to store these two properties again. You have state property and you also have the city property. Yes or no? For example, if I ever add to create object for the student, what is the way to create an object? So this is the way, right? Firstly, always remember, firstly I will have to create object for the, okay, now you tell me, guys, which class is the container class and which class is the contained class? I think you will answer this. Which class is the container class? Okay, which class is the contained class? Now tell me. I want answers from you. Which one is the contained and which one is the container? Can I say address class is the contained class? Because this address class, this reference is placed as a part in the student class. So this is the contained class, right? This is the contained, contained, contained class, and student class is the container class. Okay, so let us create objects. What is the procedure to create an object? Firstly, always remember you need to create object for the contained class. So in order to achieve the object creation, so address obj1 equal to new address. Object has been created successfully for the which class? For the contained class. Object is created. So because of the new keyword that I have just used, okay, memory gets allocated. We know these things already. Why we are discussing this, I will let you know. Okay, so this object, this memory allocation is going to be addressed by the reference variable of the object, which is obj1. Okay, always remember, whenever an object is getting created, it is going to what? It is going to do what? It is going to allocate memory for the instance variables. How many instance variables are there here? There are two instance variables. One is state, second one is city. Okay, it's a duty of the object to allocate memory for the instance variable of that particular class. Okay? Initially, the values are going to be 0. I mean, the default values. So state is going to be null, and the city is also going to be null. Okay. The object has been created successfully for the contained class. Okay, then what is the way to create an object for the contained class? Student obj2 equal to new student, right? Because of this above statement, again an object gets created. This time the reference variable is going to be what? obj2. Can give any name. So I prefer to give obj2. So it will be addressed by obj2. And again, this has to allocate memory for all the instance variables, yes or no? So there are three instance variables here, guys. Remember, one is name. Initially, it is going to be null. Okay. Second one is SNO. SNO is of integer type. Initially, the default value for SNO for any integer type is going to be 0. Again, address. Initially, the value of address is going to be null because we are not storing anything here. Okay, now we have two objects here. Okay, my question is, which one is the dependent object, which one is the dependency object? I want to introduce these terms. We have two objects. Okay, so this is obj1, this is obj2. Okay, what I am saying is the object which has another reference, which has an additional reference of another class, is called as what? Dependent object. Remember this. Dependent object. This is a dependent object. Okay. The object which has no reference, or I can say that the object that is created out of the contained class. The object that has been created out of the contained class. Okay. Is called as what? The dependency object. It's called as what? Dependency object. Okay, this is the dependent object, this is a dependency object. Okay, we know something. What we know, we have to inject the values to this instance variables, yes or no? We have three instance variables. This is variable 1, this is variable 2, and this is also variable t. And in this object we have two instance variables, variable 1, variable 2. Okay, so these instance variables are normal. Okay, this is a normal variable, normal, but this is the variable that is referring to a class. So the contained class, referring to a contained class. Okay, so this variable, if you ever injecting a value to this variable, you can perform injection in two ways. Yesterday we were discussing about the topic, yes or no? Yesterday what I was saying, as soon as the objects are created, it's your duty to set the values to these reference variables. Okay, so we can set values to these reference variables in two ways. We can achieve passing values to the reference variables inside the object in two ways, yes or no? What is the first way? Right, by using constructors. By using constructors, you can you can set the values for the reference variable. Second is by using what? Setters. Yes or no? By using setter methods. These two methods are used to set values for the instance variables that is available inside the respective objects. Okay, now remember one thing. If we are trying to inject the values to this dependency reference, okay, this is what the dependent object. Why it is called dependent? Dependent object as a whole, it is called as dependent object. Why is it dependent object? You cannot complete creating the object without completing this dependency. Okay, this object is directly depend upon this object. Yes or no? That's why it is called as dependent object. This object, the one of the reference variables inside this object is directly depend upon another object. Okay, firstly you need to set values for this. Then you can assign this object reference to this dependent object. Okay, so this value can be directly assigned. Name, no issues. Yes and no, no issues. But this is the object reference. Okay, this has some direct dependency on another object, right? So you need to inject the values. So this is a dependent object. You need to inject the values. How you can do the injection? Okay, first one is by using constructor. It is called as constructor injection. Constructor injection. Constructor injection. Second one is setter method injection. Injection is nothing. The term injection is coming from the word the injection that we always come across in the medical terms. Okay, given in the medical terms, in the context of the medical term, the injection is the direct meaning what to inject the medicine. Likewise, in Java, in context with Java dependency injection, injection means injecting the value of the dependency object. Injecting the value of the dependency object to another object. It can be achieved in two ways. What is the first way? Constructor injection. Second one is setter method injection. So this mechanism is called as what? The dependency injection. This complete mechanism is called as what? The dependency injection. These words are fancy. These words are fancy words, but look at the program, look at the analysis. Okay, it is very easy to understand, right? Don't you think so? Don't you think that it is very easy to understand? Okay, we need to set values to the objects. So how the values can be set to these objects? To these objects for all the properties by using constructor, by using setter methods. Okay, when you are doing the same thing, okay, when you are passing the value to the dependent object, you can achieve that in two ways. One is the constructor, second one is setter method. It is called as constructor injection. If you use constructor to set values, it is called as constructor injection. If you use setter method to set values, it is called as setter method injection. These are the categories of the dependency injection. Are we good so far? Yes, no? You look into the program. Good, Darshan. I missed this. Everyone, are you getting this? Yeah. So now let us look into the program. Okay, what is a dependency injection? Can we say that the dependency injection is a mechanism to inject dependency object to the dependent object? Is it clear that dependency injection is a mechanism to inject dependency object to the dependent object? Okay, go back to the paint screen and see, aren't we doing the same thing? We are injecting the dependent object to the dependent object by using what? Constructors or the setters. Again, this subcategories is also classified as constructor injection and the setter method injection. This is a straight clear cut conclusion. right? It is again categorized into, I can say like this, not like this. I can say that it can be achieved by two ways. Two ways. What is the first way? By using constructors. By using what? By using constructors. CONST or use constructors. Second one is by using setter methods. Setter methods. Okay. When you inject, so look at this theory, guys. When you inject dependency object to the dependent object by using constructors, we call it as what? Constructor dependency injection. So we are injecting the dependency by using constructors, right? We call it as what? The constructor dependency injection. Okay. If you achieve the same thing by using setter methods, when you inject dependency object to the dependent object by using setter methods, we call it as setter method dependency injection. Very simple, isn't it? Dependency injection. Okay, this is the theory and this is the high level understanding by using the diagram. Okay, so how we can so see, this concept is the advanced Java topic concept. Okay, actually the dependency injection is one of the design pattern. It is what? It is the design pattern. Actually, it's a design pattern. This concept is not only applicable to Java. This concept is applicable to all the object oriented programming language. It is applicable to Python as well. Okay, this is the way. This is one of the ways, to achieve loose coupling. I will tell you what are these things. Okay, these things make sense when you start designing the big applications. When you go to the company, when you start building the big applications, this dependency injection concept will be utilized a lot. You can say that it is used to achieve loose coupling. Okay, it is used to ensure that the code would be tested without any hindrance. Okay, so I am just introducing this concept in the core level Java, in the core Java level. Okay, to understand this in the core Java level, this theory is enough. This theory is more than enough. Okay, no one is going to introduce this concept in the core Java level. I thought I should introduce this to you so that you will not, you will feel much comfortable when you start learning the advanced Java concept, especially when you start working in a company, when you start developing Java applications. Okay, this concept will make more sense when you start developing Java applications. Actually, this is one of the design patterns. The loose coupling, I think this is the most frequently used terms. Loose coupling. Loose coupling means something like, you can think it like a, achieving independence. Okay, there will be a complete, there will be no dependency between two classes, then it is called as a loose coupling. Okay, it is used to ensure that the code could be redressed without any problems. Okay, this is for the understanding. Okay, you can remember these things. right? I will show you the small program, you will understand this concept better. Okay, shall we go? Okay, let us take the name of the program as file new what is it, a project. Okay, can we keep the project name as dependency injection? Dependency injection. Okay, click on finish. Project has been created successfully. Let us design this project. Okay, let us do the low level design. So we are going to have how many packages? 2 packages. Okay, so this is package 1 and this is package 2. Okay, the name of the first package, let us keep the package name simple, form dot test dot entities. Right? The second package is form dot test dot driver. Okay. Always remember, always accommodate, always allow one package for the main class driver. Okay, public static void main, right? So main class, always ensure that you are accommodating one package, you are allotting one package for the main class for the simplicity reasons, for the better readability. Okay, and we need to have 2 classes because we are creating an as a relationship. Okay, the name of the first class is, same example will take a student class and the address class. So every student is going to have one address. Every student is going to have one address, and this relationship is 1-to-1 mapping, 1-to-1 association. Every student is going to have one address. Okay. So how many packages we have here? So do you think that we have 2 packages? This is package 1 and this is package 2. Let us design 2 packages and we will design 3 classes with respect to every package. Right? So our project is dependency injection. Let me expand it. Right click on src and click on new. Okay, click on package. So what is the name of the first package? com dot test dot entities. Right? What is the name of the second package? File new I'm sorry guys, file new package. New, what is it? Package form dot test dot driver. Okay, so inside the driver package we are going to place what? The main method. So the name of the class is driver and we are also going to have the main method. Okay, I'm checking the main method checkbox. So I just clicked on finished. So we can remove this, it is not necessary. So we have a main method. Okay, inside this entities package we are going to take 2 classes here. Okay, what is the name of the first class? Student. Okay. And let us take another class, file new class. What is the name of the second class? Address. Okay. Always remember guys, always remember, out of these classes please ensure that you are preparing, you're writing code for the contained class. Okay, here the address class is the contained class. Okay, inside this contained class I am going to set 2 properties here for simplicity. So private string city name, cname. Okay, private string, what is the second property? Key state, name. Okay, city name, state. Okay, 2 properties I have. Let me save this. Okay, and go to the student class. I am taking another 2 properties here. 3 properties we will take inside the student class. First property is private string, we will take s name. Second property is private integer, let's take s number. The third property is as a relationship property, the address. This can be anything. Okay, you can keep any name, but this is the meaningful, so I prefer to choose this name. And again, this should be private. right? We are able to create the property successfully. Okay? Let us do something here. Okay? Firstly, if I want to build an object, if I want to create an object, please ensure that the object is always getting created for the contained class. Okay, here this is the contained class. Create an object for this. So address is the name of the class. So we need to create object by using the class name. Address obj equal to new address, right? So it will throw a kind of it is asking us to, hey, can you please check this? Okay, so it is saying import is missing. We need to use import statement. Why we are supposed to use import statement? Very simple. Okay, this two packages are independent packages. Okay, we are working on a package which has the main method. This main thread needs to get access to a different package, so import statement is mandatory. The moment you do the import state, the moment you place the import statement, it means you are ensuring that the package is getting visible, right? Just like creating a connection, a package is getting visible. Which package is getting visible? Entities package is getting visible. And which class is visible? Address class. For now, only address class is getting visible, because we are importing something. I mean, we are importing the address class. Remember, this is visible, this is invisible, because we need to import. Okay? So object has been created for the contained class. Okay? Now behind the scenes, and again we need also start thinking about what is exactly happening behind the scenes. Yes or no? Right? Let us use this space. Okay? So literally an object is getting created, guys. Yes or no? You agree with me? Because of this new keyword, a memory is getting allocated, and this is going to have what? This is going to have obj, right? Obj. And inside this object, definitely it should allocate space for all the instance variables. How many instance variables do we have in the address class? Only two instance variables, cname and the state. Yes or no? Right? So definitely it's going to allocate the memory for instance variable cname. Initially the value of cname is going to be null, right? And state, the value of state is going to be null. It's your duty to initialize value by using this object reference. How we are supposed to do the initialization? We need what? We need two things here. Don't you think so? Either you can use constructors, right? Or we can use what? Setter methods to do the what? To perform the initialization. Right now the values are null. We need to add values. We need to initialize values. We cannot initialize values directly, guys. We either have to use constructors or we have to use setter method. Let us use constructors. Okay, so we need to use constructors. Constructors need to be generated in the address class. Okay, go to the address class and generate constructors. Generating constructors are very easy. Right click, go to source, generate. You will constructors. You will find something like generate constructor using fields. Click here, generate. Okay, this is the constructor. Please remember, whenever the constructor is generated, it's your job to ensure that there is one no parameterized constructor. This is mandatory compulsion. When you have this, you should also have this. You also have what? No parameterized constructor is mandatory. Why it is mandatory? So when you want to initialize object using setters, you need to invoke the no or constructor. That's why it is mandatory. Mandatory when you have argumented, or when you already have parameterized constructor. Okay, now we have constructor. Now we have constructor in the address class. Yes or no? We have constructor in the address class. Okay, now you see the difference between setting the values to the constructor and the difference between the setting the values to the constructor and the constructor dependency injection. You will understand it now. Okay, if I am setting value using constructor as this point of time, okay, it is just like the it is just like setting the values in a normal way. Okay, so what I am doing it here in the main method driver chart Java. Okay, I'm using this reference. I am calling what? I'm passing values directly inside. This is a constructor, right? I can pass the values directly inside this constructor, but I need to ensure that the order is preserved, the order is maintained. Okay, go to the address. The first thing is we need to pass the city name, we need to pass the state. Same thing let us do. The city name is Chennai. Okay, the state name is Tamil Nadu. Okay, the values are successfully passed by using what? By using the constructor. Okay, so now go back to the paint screen. Okay, so we are at the time of object creation, we are doing what? We also decided to pass the values to the instance variables at the time of object creation itself. By using what? By using constructor. Okay, now this Chennai will be set to CNAME. Right, and the Tamil Nadu will be set to state. Okay, now can we conclude that the OBJ is fully loaded now? All the instance variables are loaded now. So the value of CNAME is Chennai with respect to OBJ. The value of state is Tamil Nadu with respect to OBJ. Right, so this part is done. Okay, so we are using constructors to do what? To initialize instance variables that is present inside the object. Okay, now this part is done. Okay, now go to the student class. Okay, here what? Here also let me take another constructor file. Okay, before even taking the constructor, let me do this. Okay, we will take constructor itself. Right click here, source, generate constructors using fields, generate. So constructor has been generated successfully for the student class. Please also ensure that you are generating the no argument constructor, that is compulsion. Remove all this. Okay, no or constructor. Right, so let us create the object for the student. Now follow this order. Okay, this is accepting what? This is expecting the first value should be sname, second value should be SNO, third value should be address of address type. Remember this, third value is address of address type. Right, so what we are doing is go to the driver class, second object, student obj1 equal to new student. Okay, first value is student name. Okay, let us take the name of the student as Ratna. Okay, and second value is student roll number. Let us take it as 1. Okay, third value is the address reference. We need to pass this OBJ. Remember, we need to pass this address type OBJ. Right, so it is breaking because we need to import. So that the other class will also be visible. What is the other class? That is invisible till now. Okay, so this is the student class is not yet visible, so we are using this import statement so that this student class will also become invisible to the main thread. Okay, this becomes visible. Right, if you ever have a main thread, now main thread is good to what? Good to jump to the package that we have specified here to access the respective classes. It can access student class, it can also access address class. Right, now go back here. Okay, so let us take this. Okay, go back to the paint screen. Okay, first object has been created for the contained class, second object is created for the container class. Okay, now there is a container class. Okay, and the reference variable is what? This is going to be student obj1. Okay. This time it is going to allocate the values for all the instance variables. First is what we have CNAME, not CNAME, I'm sorry, SNAME, student name. In the beginning it would be null. Okay, later this null is has got replaced with Ratna. Right? Likewise, we have the student number. In the beginning it would be 0. The 0 gets replaced by 1. Third one is address. Beginning it would be what? Null. Later this null has got replaced with the obj. Very, very important. OBJ. Sorry. Okay. So these are the beginning values. Let me cross this. Now you tell me one thing, guys. I have injected these values, especially focus here, especially the contained object. I have injected the values, especially for the contained object, by using what? By using a constructor. By using which constructor? The moment I invoke this constructor has been invoked. Which constructor? That is the constructor that is inside the student class. By using a constructor, don't you think that I am able to set values, inject values to the respective variables inside the container class or inside the dependent object? Inside the dependent object, I have used a constructor to inject values, especially this reference variable, object reference variable. What I have used? I have used a constructor. This is the constructor that I have used, right? So this constructor has been invoked with respect to which statement? With respect to this statement, this constructor has been invoked. Yes or no? This constructor has been invoked with respect to the above statement. Okay. The Ratna, the value Ratna got transferred. The one has got transferred to this instant variables, and the obj is this one has got transferred by using this constructor. Okay. What we have just done, we have injected the values by using what? By using a constructor. Let me repeat. We have injected values by using what? By using a constructor. So this concept is called as constructor dependency injection. Constructor what? Constructor dependency. Why it is called constructor dependency? You might be asking, sir, even we have injected values to this, but these are the direct values. Remember that. So here we are talking under the purview of what? This is the dependent object. We are talking with respect to dependent object and dependency object. Okay. So when you are injecting some values to the dependent object by using a constructor, this is called as constructor dependency injection. Why constructor dependency injection? We use a constructor or not to inject values to this dependent object, especially this dependent object. Please remember. Okay, by using the dependent object, we have used a constructor to inject the values. Injecting the values by using constructor. That is why we call it as what? The constructor dependency injection. I hope you're able to get this. What is a constructor dependent injection? If you are injecting values to the dependent object by using a constructor, it is called as constructor dependent injection. Are we good so far? Yes, no? Very, very important, guys. Very, very, very important. Are you getting this? Just we are getting used to this terminologies. That's it. Very easy. This concept is dead easy, but it is overrated concept. People think that this is very difficult. It is not. Don't go by the words. Just go by this. The diagrammatic representation. It is very easy. By looking at the diagram, you should be in a position to say that what is a constructor dependency injection. Right. Let us go back here and try to invoke this code. Okay. Now all the values are set for the student object as well as for the constructor object. Yes or no? all the values are set for the student object as well as for the address object, right? So let us take a method. Okay, address object, student object, driver class. Let me save the code. Okay, now I'm going to take a method here, method inside the student class. So what method I'm taking here? Now focus here, guys. Public void get details. My own method. Okay, when I call this method with by using the student object reference, I need to print something. What is that? System.out.println. Okay, the student details are, okay, after this I need to print something like a simple line. Okay, after this I need to print the student information. Okay, the student name is plus, okay, print the name that is stored inside the student object. Yes, what is the name that is stored inside the student object? That will be printed. Okay, the student roll number is what is the roll number that is printed in saved inside stored inside object, that will get printed. Okay, now system.out.println the student address is, so address is not in the direct form. Okay, address is what that we are talking about. This is a dependent object. Okay, by using this reference, I need to fetch the address values. I need to fetch what? I need to fetch the address values. Now it is not giving any option because inside the address entity I need to generate getters and setters, because by using getters I can fetch values. For now I do not want setters, I just want getters. Okay, what I'm trying to generate, right click here and clicking on source, generate getters and setters. Okay, select getters. That's it. Okay, so I have a method called get cname method and get state method inside this address class. Okay, in the student class I want to invoke those methods. What is that? Get cname. Okay, city name will be printed, right? System.out.println the student state is, I mean I can say it like the student city is, okay, and I can say it like the student state is plus address. By using the address reference I need to fetch internally about the city name. So state name, get state. That's it. Void get details method has been clear. This get details method is part of the student class. I need to invoke, I need to call this get details method from the driver class by using this reference. What I am doing, obj1 dot get details. If I run this, the student details are, name of the student is Ratna, roll number student roll is 1, student city is Chennai, the student state is Tamil Nadu. Okay. So far the discussion is on top of constructor dependency injection. Okay. The same thing if I want to, if we want to understand the setter method dependency injection, instead of setting the values by using a constructor, okay, let me remove this. Okay, let me remove this. Now this time I do not want to use constructors. Okay, I have removed this successfully. Okay, let me also remove this. Okay, so what I am doing is, inside here I am generating getters and setters, or let me generate only setters. Source, generate getters and setters, select setters. Okay, I have got 3 methods for the setters. Third one, third two, and a method. Okay, now see, focus here guys, focus here, very very important. Okay, now I am going to set values by using what? By using setters. Let me go to the driver class, student obj1 equal to new student. Okay, so because of this line, behind the scenes, this is for the constructor dependency injection. Now we are specifically talking about setter dependency injection. I'm recreating this. Okay, I'm recreating what? I'm recreating something like this because of this because of this line, focus here, because of this line, okay, a memory gets created and the name of the memory is going to be what, guys? obj1, right? obj1. Okay. And it is going to allocate memory for all the instance variables. We have three instance variables. One is what? Student name, and second one is what? Student number. Third one is what? Address. Okay, the default values will be assigned to it in the initially at the time of object creation. Okay, so this line is doing this. This line is doing this. So values are not set. Now I am using setters to set the values, guys. I'm doing what? I'm using setters. Okay, so here go back to the Eclipse. Okay, how many setters we have in the student Java? We have set s name, set s number, set address. We have three methods. Okay, let us use the three methods to set values. obj1 dot set s name. Name of this name is Ratna. Okay, obj1 dot set what? obj1 dot set s number. Number is 1. obj1 dot set address. Address is going to take an object as this object. Okay, let us copy this and go back to the paint screen. Okay, these are the values. Okay, these are the instructions. First instruction. Hey, use the object reference and set name. We use the set name method to set value as Ratna. Okay, null will be replaced with what? Ratna. And again, second instruction. Hey, set the roll number as 1. Okay. 0 will be replaced as what? Replaced with what? 1. Third, set address as obj. Okay, this null, this obj is a reference of another address, right? So this obj that I am talking about, it is holding another reference. These are holding values. This is holding another object reference, dependency object reference. Okay, so we have achieved something by using what methods? We have achieved setting the values to the dependent object. We have achieved, this is the dependent object. We have achieved setting the values to the dependent object by using the setter method. So this concept, this mechanism is called as what? Setter method dependency injection. If you use setter method to inject the variables for all the dependent object, we call it a setter method dependency injection. If you use constructors, we call it as the constructor dependency injection. As simple as that, and the output is going to be same. We are just using a kind of platform to set the values to the respective object. One is by using constructor, second one is using by setters, right? So do you think that there will be any variation in the output? No, all the values are set as usual. It's giving us error because I think we haven't saved this properly. Okay, now let me call the same method, obj1 dot get details. Right? If I run this, output is going to be same. Output is going to be same. Why we are getting this output? Go back here. Let's copy this logic. Okay. We are getting this output with respect to these instructions inside this method. Okay. We are doing what? We are calling this method by using obj1 dot get details. The moment you do this, this get details method will be invoked. All the instructions will be printed. First instruction is the two student details are. Of course, it gets printed. Second instruction is what? Second instruction is this simply this line is printed. Third instruction is the student name is, it is going to fetch the name of s name. What is it? The Ratna. Ratna will be printed along with this line. Roll number SNO. SNO value is 1. 1 will be printed. And again here address dot get cname. Inside the address variable, by using this object reference, try to fetch the get cname. What is the get cname? Chennai will be printed. Next Tamil Nadu will be printed, because they are not the direct values. They are the values that can be fetched by using the reference variable. Right? That's why the output is in the form of what? That's all about the dependency injection, guys. Are you finding it any difficulties here? Tell me. Very simple. Do you find any difficulties here?